In this video, we'll be going over IRS Form 1096, Annual Summary and Transmittal of U.S. Information Returns. So this is a summary document that taxpayers who are required to file information returns, such as IRS Forms 1099 series, 1098 series, 5498 series, must file if they're submitting paper versions of these tax forms. So over the past few years, the IRS has increased their focus on electronic submissions. So if you are able to submit electronic returns, or if you're able to submit information returns electronically, then you should do so. That's the way the IRS is kind of moving taxpayers, especially for low volume information returns where they're trying to phase out paper copies of those forms. However, if you are either unable to file electronically or you have to print out paper versions, then this transmittal document must accompany each group of returns. So unlike other videos, I'm not able to pre-populate this tax form, and you'll see that it's in red. Specifically, the first set of directions from the IRS are that you are not supposed to use the Form 1096 that is posted on the IRS website. It is not compatible with the IRS optical recognition software, which is used to scan and document these submissions. So instead, you must order specific copies of these tax forms, the Form 1096 from the IRS website. In our article, there is a link in our Get the Form section, or where can I find IRS Form 1096. There is a link to the IRS website page where you can order this and other information returns that you may not be able to generate either through your tax preparation software or complete using the form that you've downloaded from the IRS website. So we're going to briefly go over this form. It is fairly straightforward. However, we do have a little bit more detail in our article. I'll briefly outline some of the items that you can find more details on towards the end of this video. So let's go ahead and start at the top of the form. You'll enter the filer's name. This should be the name of the business. So if I were typing this out, I would write in Acme Business Solutions or whatever my filing company's name is. If you're a sole proprietor, then it'll probably be your name. And you'll be the point of contact, and all of your personal information will be in these taxpayer information fields. So enter the name of the business, the street address to include any room or suite numbers if you're in an office building, and then the city, state, country, and zip code if you're filing from overseas. You'll enter the name of your point of contact as well as the telephone number, email address, and fax number. Now, it is in your best interest to make sure that this is reliable information in the case that the IRS has any questions about your submission, or if it didn't go through properly, or if some other technical aspect of your submission, has points that need to be addressed. One of the there are penalties that apply for missed filing deadlines, and they can range from anywhere between $60 per return to $310 per return. So if you're filing, say, 50 forms or versions of 1099 MISC, for example, if you were filing 50 versions of this tax form and you missed the due date by even a week, you could be liable for a $3,000 penalty. And so the range from $60 to $310 depends on how late that submission is. So be careful about that. Make sure that you have good contact information so that you can address any possible issues or concerns that might arise. Now, there are only 6 information fields here: the employer identification number and the social security number. You should pick one or the other. If you are a business with an EIN, then you would obviously do that. If you don't have an EIN because you're a sole proprietor, then you would enter your social security number. But this should be the same information that is reflected in your information returns. So if you used an employer ID number while issuing forms 1099 NEC for your non-employed or non-employees, then you should have that same information here. In 3, you would enter the total number of forms. So don't include the Form 1096 and don't include the number of pages. So if you have 50 versions to 50 different individuals for Form 1099 NEC, then you would enter 50, even if that takes up 150 pages. In line 4, you would enter the total amount of federal income tax withheld. And then in line 5, you would enter the total amount that is being reported with this Form 1096. So because there's such a wide range of different tax forms, the information for both lines 4 and 5 can be completely different based on the type of tax form that you're submitting. We break all of this down in our article, so I won't go into too much more detail here. But you will need to enter the total federal income tax withheld and then the total amount that is reported in all of the information returns here. And then on line 6, you would simply enter an X in the appropriate box. So for example, if you're filing 50 Form 1099 MISCs and then 50 Form 1099 NECs, you would complete 2 separate 1096 forms. You would enter them, one for 1099 MISC and then another one for 1099 NEC. So that's as far as we go with this tax form. You would sign, enter the title, and then date it. So there are instructions on based on where, which type of tax forms you may be filing as to the due dates. So for 1099 NEC, you need to file by January 31st. Forms 1097, 1098 series, 1099 series, besides this aforementioned tax form, IRS Form 3921, 3922, or W2G. You would need to file this with the IRS by February 28th. And then for Forms 5498, which are the contribution information forms to various accounts, either IRAs, ABLE accounts, ESAs, or Archer MSAs, health savings accounts, then you would file those by May 31st. So be careful about the tax filing deadlines based on the type of form that you're filing. So we cover all of this in detail in our article. As I mentioned, there are also a couple of generic filing instructions, things like grouping the forms by form number, not stapling information returns to either the Form 1096, do not use copy A from the IRS website for certain tax forms, and then do not use Form 1096 for forms that you can submit electronically. So we'll break all of this down. We'll also put links to in the show notes for all of the tax forms where we've written articles and created videos, just so that, because it can be confusing, if you want to drill down into the specifics of a particular tax form, you can do so. If you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. And if you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, comments, or if there's another topic that you would like covered in a upcoming video, please hit me up in the comment section. Thank you very much and have a great day.